That's right, folks. It's another late night and time for another reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag. And tonight we're pulling out Brother, Sister, Serious Talk. Number 61 of the Just Giggle It sketches. Directed, written, and edited all by the Wonderkin himself, Joshua Thomas. Tiki, what did you think of this one?
Dragon, to put it simply, this fits the mold of Just Giggle It, kind of subverting our expectations with gags. You think this is going to be kind of like, well, it's going to be some dark humor about a brother and sister, comforting themselves at a funeral or something like that. But instead, Dragon, it straight up turns into just an extended bathroom joke, just one long extended bathroom joke. And I gotta tell you, Dragon, it is a classy bathroom joke. Like you and I, we've had our ups and downs when it comes to bathroom humor, but if anyone can pull off a bathroom joke of this magnitude, it is the good folks that Just Giggle It, and I think they pulled it off.
And again, they did the Jaws of fart jokes in in their parody of A Quiet Place. I mean, again, like these guys know how to pull that off, so it's very, very impressive. I mean, some bodily humor I think works for Just Giggle more than others, but again, so far the bathroom humor has definitely rewarded them. So yeah, I mean, I remember the premise of this one, like the one kind of like the big sell of this one is it's not, and I think this is really telling for what the whole thing's about. It's not about what you're saying. It's who you're saying it to, which is such a profound like statement about what this is, and it's so true and so true to what the acting is in this. You know, it's about like they could be saying complete gibberish or complete nonsense or complete just ridiculousness as they do, but it's the acting that carries through. So I love that, as ridiculous as it is. Basically, if I had to, there are a lot of great comparisons that we'll make during this. I think one of the in regards to the acting, there's a Zucker acting method applied to this one. The Zucker acting method is the Zucker brothers, you know, the airplanes and the Naked Gun movies, the Leslie Nielsen school of acting, where you can say the most ridiculous, stupid dialogue, so long as you say with enough conviction and you're giving the best dramatic performance you've ever seen. That's pretty much what we have here at its finest, done by, of course, our kind of our linking star of this theme month, of this theme season of the grab bag, Poncio.
Oh God, that's a new one.
We get one of my favorite types of Poncio in this one. We get later on we get Poncio doing a DOnofrio. Not quite Alexander Poncio, but it's close.
All right.
Poncio doing DOnofrio. Anyway. Oh, a little update here, because of course, I have big news that Tiki doesn't know about. I'm going to spring it on him and the folks at home, okay? Big news. So, well, I have two things of big news that Tiki does not have any inkling about. So, for starters, I have good news. We're going to bring it up once. We're going to be classy about this. We're not going to make this into a running gag. We want to show due respect here. But Piper Hinson, from what we understand, is engaged.
Nice.
Very
nice.
Good for her. Yay, Piper Hinson. So aside from that, again, we're not going to like do it. Usually, Tiki and I are big fans of running gags with the Just Giggle It players, but we don't want to like hype on it. We want to make it like a ridiculous like celebrity wedding running gags. That's not dignified. And that's doing disrespect to Piper Hinson. We don't want to do that. So we're just going to say it once here, and then we're going to let it lie unless there's like a big like, hey, and they finally did it. Finally tied tonight. Good for her. Like again, so we'll close the loop, but we won't really harp on it. And secondly, big news. Joshua Thomas, I believe it's Joshua Thomas, Just Giggle as a whole, has confirmed that Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World, which is an excellent show that all of you should watch, is currently filming episode 6. Now, folks, don't get too excited. That means they're filming episode 6, but it's still a question of when we're going to be able to get that episode. You want to see that episode. They're going to be filming next month. They're going to be filming episode 6 next month. The episode that everybody's been asking, like, where is it? Where's 6? Where's 6? I've watched them all. Where's 6? And of course, for those who do not know, Harley Quinn, the Joker versus the Real World is a Just Giggle It production that is that stars Joshua Thomas and the wonderful Nicole Dubois currently, but it previously starred Brianna Oppenheimer as Joker and Harley Quinn. The very iconic take on these amalgamation of all the best forms that you remember of Harley Quinn and the Joker, paired together and placed in L.A. and getting into shenanigans, both mundane and extraordinary, and in all shapes and sizes of that premise. It's delightful. We can talk ourselves till we're blue in the face saying how great it is. All I can tell you is watch it, tell people about it, get the view count up to 1 million. Because folks, even if they film the episode, they get in the can, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see it until we get the view count on episode 5, which is a great episode that'll tide you over until episode 6 is done, filmed, and presented to all of us. But again, to get it presented to all of us, we need to get it to 1 million. You can do that. All you need to do is watch it, get other people to watch it, and rewatch it while you're at it. Harley Quinn the Joker versus the Real World, episode 5, which will get us episode 6, and maybe more.
Yeah.
Okay, start us off.
Okay, so we start with a very sad, melancholy song here, as we see the sister character walking out of the church to greet her brother, Alex Poncio, who's sitting at a church staircase, kind of looking sad and sulking to himself.
Really good location on this one. I think it's supposed to be like their home or maybe the mother's home or something. But I love the stairwells.
I'm sorry. I don't know why my mind automatically went to church. You're right. It's not a church.
I mean, it feels like a home later on, as I'm guessing. But yeah, I mean, really good. Again, I don't know. Sometimes Just Giggle, they kind of, in the later seasons specifically, they really have these great locations they kind of happen upon. Like, if you look at the numbers on the Just Giggle It sketches, you get to like the 60s. And when you get to the 60s, they have just kind of this great set design where in the first season, they had they had nothing but like kind of these stock photos of set.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Let's see. So we have sad Poncio, Dan, and of course Sister Lainey, played by the great Katie Garland, who was Carmela on Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World. Watch it now.
Yeah, she's kind of becoming a force in her own right as we go through these sketches more and more.
Yeah, from what I understand, we're going to be seeing more of her, because right now they're kind of sticking with the core 4 of Just Giggle It right now, and any new sketches that are going to be made. I mean, this was relatively current, because again, the 60s are, again, it's not brand new, obviously, but it was definitely kind of in kind of the new lineup of what they were kind of putting out. So I think we're going to be seeing more of Katie Garland as we go forward, and any new Just Giggle It sketches that are being made. So. She was in the last 2 that were done recently, which are also really good. And again, I don't want to tease up too much, but let's just say they're both very Poncio related. So I wouldn't. Well, you'll see. All right. Let's see. So Lainey here, she's comforting her brother, sitting down by old Danny boy here. Not that Danny boy, the other one. They're all dressed in black.
Not the Danny boy from Harley Quinn and the Joker, episode 5.
You're wondering who that is, watch the episode. But yes, they're all dressed in black, and I like the contextual clues here. Okay, brother, sister, they're dressed in these because I instantly, when I was watching this for the first time, I was like, okay, there's obviously a funeral or something going on here, because they're dressed like they're in mourning. They're all sad. Mm-hmm. So you think death had been involved, or they're in mourning, and later on in the sketch we confirm this is absolutely the case. So it's a really great emotional posing and everything here. Is Poncio, like a sad Poncio on a stairwell, communicates all you need to know. So
I mean, a sad Poncio, a sad Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, or like a sad Winnie the Pooh or something. Like, it's like something so rare but so kind of crushing to your soul. Like, what made him so sad? This beloved Poncio. What made him so sad? So Poncio. Here's what kills me here. So Alex Poncio, he's amazing as so much here, because what he's doing. The nuances are killing me on this, because what Ponzio's doing is just giving this static, disturbed performance, because he's just like, after he's looking all sad, he just kind of looks out in the space almost. He's kind of like giving the 1,000-yard stare, just kind of this. He's disturbed, and he's kind of taken off his game as she comes over and she says, "Are you okay?" And he's just looking off, and he just says, really just so disturbed, he says, "No." It's like, how great is that? I don't know. Look, I know it sounds like we're saying Poncio said no. He's brilliant, but no, seriously, look at. But no, seriously, just like again, there's a lot of resonance.
I'm not requesting. I'm not answering a Facebook request from that guy. He's way too into me.
No, but in all seriousness, seriously, I mean, again, he's building up kind of it's the misdirection of the comedy. It's where you think it's going, you think it's not a comedy at all. You think it's like a dramatic, okay, like there's something deeply wrong with this guy. And again, it's all kind of communicated in this one little stationary beat of no, basically, no, everything's not okay. Which again is just you feel like, oh man, something really bad happened, something real serious happened. Hence the title of the video. So she's asking what's
Again,
wrong.
just like with our expectations, like our imaginations are kind of like running wild about what this terrible situation could be that young Poncio finds himself in.
Yes. So let's see what's going on with the Poncio lad here. So she's asking what's wrong, and he says there's nothing, and then we have
Dragon, I really hope you notice this, and I'm pretty sure it's intentional. When she asks what's wrong and he stalls, the song lyrics come on, answer the question.
Oh my god, no, I missed that. But you know what? I'm glad I brought up the song because I forgot to mention
the song lyrics are mocking Poncio at that point.
But you know what the song reminded me of? The song, I think you're right about that. Now you bring that up, it's like that makes sense. I was wondering what that was going for. And I think you're absolutely right about it. And I didn't consider that. But here's the thing. I would love it if this were the case. Because I feel tonally with the song and just with the posing and how this thing starts, it feels like a scene out of the CW or like a Mark Webb movie. That's what it feels like. I think they're going for that because it's like
it totally feels like a Mark Webb movie.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like again. If I think overall, it feels like a Mark Webb movie. But again, like just when the music plays, it feels like a CW thing because they always have those like specifically from the Smallville years. You always had those like sad like post like Clark and Lana fighting things within the loft or whatever, and like they're all sad and they walked away angry and they reunite. They have that music playing, and it's like, oh, okay, here's the big emotional catharsis. Or like something bad happened to both of them during the dates. It's the classic CW formula. Something again, you can take it out of Small and take it to any show, even like especially Arrow these days. But it's like, okay, two characters were on opposite sides and they were butting heads and they walked away angry and then they reunite with that music playing. Like, let's make up. We still want to be in each other's lives, right? It's that sort of thing. It's like one of those things where, yeah, we've had a rough day. It's that rough day music, and that's kind of what they're playing in the background here. But yeah, so it's echoing.
Oh, you had a bad day. You take it on down. You sing a sad song just to turn it around.
Basically, the even more schmaltzy version of that. Like, that's literally like, okay, well, we need to play sad music, so let's go with the sad music catalog, and let's not shake it up, All right, but yeah, so Ponzi here, and I want to highlight
that song that would play on a Disney Channel original movie or something like that.
Yeah, something like a Lifetime movie or something. Yeah. So I also want to highlight this. I love the performance in Poncio's eyes during this, where we have that dramatic Poncio and just like seeing like kind of the sadness in the eyes and just seeing again that 1,000-yard stare and all of that kind of coming through in this scene where again they see that it's a guy who doesn't want to talk about it because he's so hurt by something. We find out, of course, it's going to be complete like it's that Just Giggle It, we're trying to crank it up to 11 in the other direction. Where do you think it's going?
Mm-hmm.
Sister is pleading to be let in, like tell me, she's she's pleading basically in the performance in the eyes alone, like she's begging to be let in, and he's like he gives in, and when he says just so defeatedly, he says, "What does he say, Tiki?"
I have diarrhea.
Yes. So Dan has diarrhea. Yep. So this is where we enter the airplane naked gun sucker comedy method of it all. Like right here, like basically this point forward is like, okay, we went from like mocking the CW to, yeah, we're gonna do like kind of the old Zucker acting method to this point forward. And I love the Zucker acting method, so I was very pleased with this. So we're playing the most immature lines straight, but in a Mark Webb movie, essentially. That's what we're doing. We're playing playing the most ridiculous lines in a Mark Webb kind of emotional catharsis scene. So again, they're both. So I feel like I don't want this to get lost in translation. So again, they're really on point. Like they're acting in a different sketch altogether, and it's just what their performance is here. So she's asking again through ridiculous dialogue. The performance is what's coming through here. She's saying, "How many times have you gone today?" And again, she's saying in the most caring, loving manner. Again, in another context, it would be like, "How do you feel about this?" But again, we're doing it really. But again, the line that's being kind of interwoven here is she's acting motherly. She's trying to fill a void. She's trying to fill an emotional void, which is why she's asking this. So again, even in the ridiculousness of it all, even with the ridiculousness of what is presented, there is an emotional through line, which is very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like one of those philosophies of like, like to be a good liar, you have to believe in what you're lying about. And, to be a good actor, you have to really play it straight. And there has to be some line, some kernel of truth. Like, yeah, if you had diarrhea on the day that your fucking mother is supposed to be buried, and you have to deal with going to the bathroom 4 times a day and, constantly wondering if you're going to shit yourself. Yeah, fuck yeah, man. That'd be a bad day.
So she asks, and he says, 4, is it watery? I gotta be honest, Katie Garland asking, is it watery is really hilarious. He's gonna say that. Is it watery? And then, okay, this is what part that kills me. So this is Poncio doing DOnofrio here. And but again, Tiki, it's not just Poncio doing DOnofrio, which is one of my favorite forms of Poncio. Basically, Poncio, for any who don't know, again, with the concept of DOnofrio love, just when I say Poncio doing DOnofrio, I mean that's when Poncio gets really into it. That's when Poncio's in the zone. He gives like a dramatic speech, like he really, basically when Poncio's on fire, he's either doing that DOnofrio form of Poncio, or he's just doing that, Alexander Poncio, which is like the zenith of Poncio giving like an all-star performance for the ages. And we kind of have that. We kind of have that line here where he's just, again, he's committing. He's fully committing. But again, he's committing to a D'Onofrio level performance, but with ridiculous dialogue you never imagined D'Onofrio would say. It's just shooting out. And then,
God, now I'm just picturing Fisk in this exact same dilemma. Oh God.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait for it. All right. You ready? The bathroom door, and you have Vanessa on the other side. Wilson, what's going on?
It's just shooting up.
It's just shooting out, Vanessa.
Because Wilson and Vanessa, they're intimate with each other. They don't care about, each other's bathroom tendencies. They're just there for each other.
Can I get you anything, Wilson? Vanessa, I'll be fine. Just bring me the sports section. I want to read the Wall Street Journal.
I never like. God, I never connected the D'Onofrio of all to that delivery, but now that you've said it, I can't get it out of my head.
Okay, anyway, so here's the one choice in the whole thing I subjectively don't agree to. So Poncio gives the raspberry here. It basically does the raspberry. It's like we do like the raspberry to end all raspberries.
It for so long.
And yeah, here's the thing. Like, I don't mind that he does the raspberry thing. I don't mind that it goes on long. But here's a bug.
I feel like this is like endurance humor. It's almost like Family Guy style humor. You know what I mean? Like, how long can you stretch out a joke?
It is, and here's the weird thing. So again, subjectively, so I want to say this is not necessarily. I see that it's funny, and it's funny, but not to me. Where he gives the raspberry and it goes on. It's funny and ridiculous, and almost freakazoid-esque with how long it goes on. So I love that. I just love the thing where it's like going on, and someone giving the raspberry feels very freakazoid-esque, and I love that. But but here's the thing: the other side of it is what bugs me, because we have such a Joshua Thomas shot. I knew when I saw this is again. I knew before I looked up like who specifically directed this, because sometimes it's not Joshua Thomas. Many a time it is him, but many a time it is not him. So like we have the reverse of this shot, which is poor Katie Garland as Lainey here being coated in a spit take. And rarely do you see the opposite end of a spit take like this. It's usually just like
it's like a freaking squirt bottle or something, right?
And here's the thing: I have Joshua Thomas. He gave us a little bit. He gave us like one little inkling of background on this here. And the inkling of background is that he was the one, like,
Oh,
kind of,
Ponzio real bit.
and he was the one like throwing the spit on her. He was like the one that was him specifically, like kind of dousing her in the spit water. They mix it with some sort of water.
It was real spit.
Well, I mean, he was saying, I don't know if it was. I would hope it wasn't. I really hope it wasn't, but I mean, I mean, he said it was spit water.
Oh man, that literally just that makes my stomach churn just a little bit.
Okay, well, just again to take put you.
I'm getting a little bit sick to my stomach just thinking about that.
No, to put you at ease, he said spit water, which implies that it is something. It's like a Hollywood trick to make something look like spit. But I mean, I don't know how.
Oh my God! I thought you were saying it was Ponzio's spit mixed with water.
No. Well, all I'm saying is, in good faith, I'd like to think that's the case. It says you would just say spit if it were actually spit. Otherwise, why say spit water? I mean, spit water implies it's like some sort of like you mix it in a bottle and you spray.
All right, my mind's at ease. All right.
My point, but again, I don't know 100%. So let's just look. The point is, we don't know. But I'm on.
Oh God.
That's the thing. I remember before Joshua Thomas said this, I was thinking, oh my God, this poor Katie Garland having to do all these takes. And again, it's like it's such a Joshua Thomas shot of like just kind of focusing, because the earmarks of being Joshua Thomas comedy is when you hold on a shot like that and you just see like her giving that straight face as she's being abused like that. That's the Joshua Thomas a style where you have like a character's reactions kind of being held on while something horrible is happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, so again, like personally, that one's not for me. It's a little kind of a cheap punchline where again they're firing so strong and everything. It feels like, okay, now we're just stretching for a joke when we don't need to. Just like stick with him, like you're just keeping that going for like it's 3 cuts. Like we cut to that 3 times. That's how often we do that.
Yeah, it's a little excessive.
All right, so then we get some more Poncio's DOnofrio here, which is her response to this: "I'm just trying to help you." We have, well, maybe I don't want your help.
Maybe I don't want your help.
Okay, let's look. We can do DOnofrio all the live long day.
Something that DOnofrio should have said to Vanessa throughout the course of Daredevil season 3.
Well, it might have saved a few lives, but you never know. All right, so that wouldn't have had an ending, so you need. Anyway, it says maybe I don't want your help.
I have to poop so bad and so often.
So often, you don't get it. So again, it's like this proves that only Poncio could legitimize bathroom humor to this level. Again, the man executed the Jaws of fart jokes with the and folks, I know this sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds insane.
I don't want to paint a picture of this experience, of course, but I will say I did have one day at Disneyland where I was suffering from a little bit of stomach problems, and it was a horror show, man. It was bad. So I do have. That's the funny thing about this gag is that as ridiculous as it is, like on a basic, fundamental, like human level, it's not something you ever want to fucking deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, it's just again. Here's the ridiculous thing. I know Poncio is the guy to go to for this, and I don't want to say. I know that sounds, but seriously, Poncio is the go-to guy for this because what he did with a Quiet Place. Again, it was like the dramatic sacrifice of farting to your demise. That's kind of what he had in that video. Where again, it's like he just played it in the most dramatic. I've just given up life. Just I want to end it all. I'm going to end it on my terms, which of course involved a lot of farting, which essentially is what that gag is. And here we have you know what? I have to go so often. It's just a man who's just been through the ringer. Basically, what he's doing here, what's so brilliant about the performance, and again, what this whole thing's about, is, again, he's playing one scene but with different, it's like someone swapped the dialogue on him, or like swapped the teleprompter, but he's giving the performance he was preparing for the whole day, where it's like, life has taken so much from me, you don't understand what this loss is like for me. And that's really what's being communicated in the scene. When in reality it's like, I have to, I just, my stomach is killing me. Well, I have to poop. It's what it is.
It's one of those things where it's like, poop is inherently funny, right? Like, it's an inherently funny word. Yes. But in reality, man, it can be a very unpleasant experience.
It's not a laughing matter. As apropos as that sounds, I mean, poop can be funny, but in reality, not a laughing matter.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh man.
So, I bet there's some folks who says, "Man, I never thought the GrabBag would get to this. I never thought that they'd be reaching in, we'd be pulling out." Right. I never thought we'd be reaching into the GrabBag and pulling this out.
As I'm recording that, I'm like, "Oh man, I never thought we'd have this conversation."
Oh God. Anyway, so okay, so then again, so perfectly here. So Katie Garland perfectly, she gives us this beautiful supporting softness in the reaction of what she's saying. And this is what I love in the performance here, where she's, how about Tums? Pepto-Bismol? Imodium? 7-Up? No. Stop trying to be mom. And folks, that's the A-bomb right there, folks. That's the A-bomb right there, where Poncio is dropped, and then we have the big reveal. Yes, you've laughed at the poop jokes, but folks, at its core, this is what the poop jokes are all about: the death of the mother. And it has you. It's like, again, it pulls you through the ringer, and you think you get where it's going. It's like, okay, it's just going to be all funny and ridiculous, but then we bring it back to the dramatic you thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. You put it together, it's like, stop trying to be mom. We're at their, this is after she's died. Now they got the barrier in the ground, everything. It's like, oh my God. And then again, it's like the swirl of emotions on top of it, stomach problems. And we see that Poncio not only has lost his, basically what Poncio is conveying is the Dan character here, is that he's lost his world via his bowel control. That's what he's lost here.
Pretty much.
And then she's like, don't cry, Dan. Of course he says.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jared. I don't have the line written
Basically, he says he's crapping himself right now. He says, I'm going right now.
Oh, yeah, right.
And again, he's saying it with such dignity and such acting vigor. I just love that in the scene. They're just like, he's literally taking like I'm
going down with his ship. It's like, yep, this is happening. I might as well be a man about it.
I'm falling in a swirling spiral of doom and depravity and depression. So it's all going away. It's all escaping. I've just given up right now, and my bowels are reflecting that. So then, again, and again, throughout all this ridiculousness, we do have the emotional heart of it all. He's lost everything, so he's just kind of given up. And she's saying, "Don't give up," through the offer of toilet paper. She says, "Hey, there's toilet paper inside." And then we see these kind of that kind of spring again. That kind of perks him up a little bit. He says, "I know." And that's basically communicating the "it's going to be okay" tone of like, you make a mess, there's toilet paper. That's the simple, surface level way of looking at it. But again, there's some thematic heft there. Like, in life there's a mess, but you know what? Even when the crap literally hits the fan, there are paper towels and toilet paper and all sorts of variety of cleaning products to fix this. So, and of course, then she gives this offer of like, "Come on, little brother. We still have to bury mom today." That's Katie Garland bringing home the punchline of the whole thing. Of, yes, folks, we know we made all this bathroom jokes, all this bathroom humor, all these bathroom jokes. But at the end of the day, we've killed the mother, and they're burying a mother. So when folks take it with a grain of salt. Like, T, I really want to get your take on this, because you're always about tone here. But when you say this is a proper mix of tone, right? Because we have
yes. It's funny with me, Dragon. It's like, to me, it's like I'll either love a mix of tones or I'll hate a mix of tones. Like, to me, it's like it's one of the things that can really for example, Little Miss Sunshine is a perfect movie of of conflicting tones. Like that is a movie with conflicting tones that I just like. The conflicting tones are completely intentional and just add to the substance of the movie. Click, on the other hand, that's a different discussion that we'll have for another day. But no, this is absolutely in the Little Miss Sunshine side of things, I think.
Also want to say I love Greg Kinnear.
A bit more cartoonish than Little Miss Sunshine, of course, but
with bringing up Little Miss Sunshine real quick, I just want to say I love Greg Kinnear in that movie. He's so good.
We should podcast about Little Miss Sunshine sometime. That's a fucking damn good movie.
At some point, when the stars align, we'll do that one. But in the meantime,
maybe Corel Month or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we'll go over that. Anyway, so let's see. So so then we have some physical. Again, folks, what we're doing here, of course, we usually with the GrabBag, you like to analyze the comedy, but also with kind of Poncio being kind of our uniting star of this season. I want to highlight kind of the various forms of Poncio comedy here. So then we've had a lot of great kind of again performance-driven comedy with Poncio. Now we have just kind of this great physical comedy here, where we're on complete direct emotional opposites on the spectrum here of what again it's uplifting. Again, we're on opposites of the spectrum here, where again it's this emotionally heartwarming thing, but by the same token, again there's some sadness, there's some drama, like again that tone blending so well. And then we go from that, like all of that just kind of emotionally hitting the right notes, and then visually we're hitting the comedy here with the broader opposites of the whole thing here. Well, again, the broader opposites being all the bathroom jokes and the physical comedy we have here with Poncio. He's kind of doing the crowning shuffle into the house, if you catch my meaning. He's kind of cradling the delivery. He's kind of withholding the turtle, so to speak. So basically, as he does his little shuffle into the house, which is so funny, and it's so true to life and so sad. So then we have we cut to black, and folks, when you think it can't get any better, the last gag of this had me rolling on the floor, so happy and laughing so much. So we have a toilet flush, and Tiki, that toilet flush is very intentional, not because it was an obvious thing of a toilet flush, but if they're doing what I think they're doing, they have my respect. Where it's like if they pulled the reference I think they're pulling with that toilet flush, they're geniuses. We'll circle back to that with the end gag. So Lainey is waiting outside with bated breath of has everything gone well? Are we past the emotional hurdle of it all? Have we passed the threshold of our emotional content here? So Dan emerges, touched. Why is he touched, Tiki?
He didn't know she had baby wipes.
And then she gives this beautiful, lovely response, and Katie Garland brings it all home with the sweetness here. Says, "I guess Mom taught me a thing or two after all." And then Poncio says again, "This we see brother and sister have reunited. The serious talk is over. They're back to being kind of a unified front here, where it's she'd be proud of you." And the two hug, and then we hear the audience cheer, and this is the gag I'm talking about here. It's where it all comes together, and where it all gets revealed. Oh my God! If this is Josh, I'm just gonna hope Josh Jones was going for this.
I just took it as a standard, hey, it's suddenly a sitcom. Isn't that funny? But obviously to you, it's maybe a deeper cut.
So Norman Lear appears on the screen. Basically, they hug, and you have the audience cheer, and we do the freeze frame of them hugging when Norman Lear's name pops up. Now, Norman Lear, for any who do not know, he, the guy, basically kind of the one of the golden names in sitcom history, of television history. All in the Family, the Jeffersons, basically all the All in the Family spinoffs were all Norman Lear. You had the Good Times, you had a whole slew of phenomenal shows that Norman Lear's been privy to and been a part of, and still working today. Norman Lear's an amazing person. So Norman Lear, of course, I want to think Norman Lear's a strategic choice, because the ending here, the very least the ending, but even if you look at the whole, if you look at the sketch as a whole, with this Norman Lear payoff, you could look at the whole thing as a tribute to what Norman Lear's style of television was, specifically with All in the Family, where you could have comedy and you could have drama within the comedy, and even during your dramatic scenes, you could have laughs happening as the dramatic stuff is going on. And I feel this whole sketch with that, when that name pops up, it blows your mind when you think, oh my God, this is a tribute to Norman Lear and that style of television, what kind of defined comedy in the 70s. And oh my God, yes. it's brilliant and it works. And again, it's like pushing it to the nth degree, like how far we can push that idea, but it worked. My God, it's like taking the emotional component and the laugh, infusing it in such a beautiful, intricate way that it pays off tremendously, and it does. And it's the perfect cherry on top of the whole thing.
All right. Yeah, well, shit, I couldn't have said it better myself, Dragon. You obviously know your sitcoms.
Oh yeah. I mean, you've seen some All in the Family. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some All in the Family, but I don't like follow sitcoms in the same way that you do.
All right. Okay, so well we've reached the end. We've run out of toilet paper. So, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I just think this is a great, as you said, Dragon. It's a good way to mix the tones and have a good result on the other side. It's kind of what a tone mixer should strive to be. It's that's it's just a really. I'm sorry, I'm kind of trying not to repeat myself, but yeah, I think I've already kind of said my piece on it. It's it very much sets up expectations for one thing, kind of subverts your expectations, and then pulls your expectations back around by the end. And that's kind of like what we love about Just Giggle It as a whole. So it's yet another Joshua Thomas grand slam.
Joshua Thomas Grand Slam. Quote the great Sipka. Yeah, for me, it's again, it's a great parody overall of like the Norman Lear school of television. You have the drama and the laugh being balanced out in such a way. It's taken to the 11th, to the 11th degree of ridiculousness, but with that again with that Leslie Nielsen Zucker Brothers-esque style of delivery and acting and commitment. Again, like Leslie Nielsen's no slouch there, folks. Because when I'm referencing that, I mean Leslie Nielsen is top tier. Again, top tier of how you do that. Because again, his performance in Naked Gun is it's something to the first one specifically. It's just something to behold. Because again, like he never kind of broke character. He never felt like he was just saying the lines for a paycheck. You felt that this is a guy who again, he's unaware of the comedy, of the ridiculous stuff that he's saying. He's playing it the straightest way you've ever seen it, and it's perfect. And I feel Poncio kind of gleaned a lot of that here. I feel not again. I don't want again, while we are it's kind of a Poncio theme here. I don't want to leave Katie Garland out in the cold here because again, she's the back and forth of the scene. Without her, the scene dies. Without her, it'd be Poncio doing a monologue, which I mean could work, but it had to be under completely different circumstances. You can't have this without Katie Garland kind of paying him in kind for what he's doing here. And it's. I think the last thing I really want to say with this is that the mark of a good actor in good comedy is a scene playing even with nonsense. And I think this does that in spades, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
That does it for now until the next reach into the Just Giggle It GrabBag.
It's just shoot it out!